According to officials, Benoit is still under quarantine.
Are you there? Hello? Can you hear me?
Tell me where you are.
All was quiet, and then everything went crazy.
So, Nick, I don't think that any of us were ready to be playing a game by the makers of Call of Juarez this soon.
No. Actually, are you serious? The same guys made Call of Juarez made this game?
Yep, Dead Island is made by Techland, whose only
Really?
claim to fame was Call of Juarez 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
Wow.
that explains a lot of things. Okay.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Welcome to the
All
Loading
right.
Bar. This is Professor Jeff. I have with me Mr. Nick Hodges,
Hello.
Dr. Jason Murphy,
Howdy.
and Sergeant Kevin J. Baird.
Hello.
He's a captain, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been promoted, I guess.
Captain Sassy.
Oh, all right, right. So we're going to talk about Dead Island, which is going to be no easy thing to do because this is a game that has a lot of problems, but is also very fun.
Worst vacation ever.
Yeah, no, tell me about it, man.
So basically, from what I can glean, Dead Island takes place on the fictional island of Benoit, and you play as one of 4 jerks that are in the middle of a zombie outbreak. Jason, take it away. I think you probably described this better than I can.
Say, what is it with Techland having unlikable characters as their protagonists in these kind of games?
Yeah, they're most of them. Most of them are just a bunch of assholes on this island, and then zombies come and try to eat them. And you're set in this open world game that's kind of like I guess Borderlands or Fallout, but you're confined to this island, and you're bombarded with side quests and the main quests and everything, and trying to survive and help other people. And yeah, zombies. So
I mean, is it just me? When I was playing through the game, I didn't really get a very good idea of the story. Seemed to kind of just at random intervals kind of pop up and be like, no, this is what's happening, and because you just, I mean, when I was playing the game, you wake up and there's zombies.
Yeah, here's the story, Jeff. Zombies. Okay, so now that we got that out, of the way.
Jason, because I didn't get it the first time. No.
I mean, that's it. There's really no like through line, you know. It's just a bunch of shit happening, which is, I don't know, it's kind of believable. It's like you got all this stuff happening at once, and everybody's struggling, and some people are losing their shit completely, and then other people are trying to keep it together, and they get these outposts set up where, you know, there's one guy at the lighthouse who's got his group of survivors, and they're trying to get out of there. And then there's the group at the lifeguard station down the coast, and they're trying to wait for help.
Are you there? Hello? Can you hear me? Shit. Hello?
We were just attacked. Listen, your friend from the hotel's awake. You were right about him being immune to this thing. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have made it. Maybe now we can hold out until help arrives.
There is no help. This thing can't be stopped. I saw how it took my wife.
You need to get out of there, and I can help you. I can arrange for transportation, by air, by sea, but first you need to get here, to me.
I have many sick and injured here, mate. They're crazy with fear. Tell me where you are. Where are you? You there, mate? Hello? Hello? Oh, God damn it.
And in the meantime, and this is one of the problems with the game, I think, is you were just bombarded with quests. So there's no real pacing, no real narrative to it that I've found so far. Jeff, you played all the way through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because at various intervals the game cuts from, I mean, it's all played from a first-person perspective, so you're picking up quests and going out and killing zombies and stuff. And then from time to time, the game just jumps into these cutscenes where, you know, regardless of whether you're playing, this is actually something very strange about the game, regardless of whether you're playing single player or multiplayer, it kind of jumps out to the story of these 4 survivors. Xian Mei, the concierge at the hotel, Sam B, a one-hit rap wonder, NFL Mohawk guy, Logan, and then Australian police lady by the name of Perna. And it seems like at certain points the game really wants to get you involved with the story of these characters and how they're interacting with the world. But that only seems to kind of come through, in my opinion, in the cutscenes. It doesn't ever really factor much into what you're doing.
But, yeah, basically forget everything that you saw in the official announcement trailer. You know, that amazingly well done trailer where that girl's like falling from the window of the hotel, and it's got like this wonderful music playing in the background and looks intense. Fuck all that, This is nothing like that at all.
I don't know. I disagree. I think that was very cinematic, and I think the game is very cinematic itself, but there's not really any story,
No, hell no.
There are all these, like the opening, in the very opening of the game, it's first person, and you're wandering through the opening moments of the outbreak, and you're just this drunk asshole. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you're the female Asian concierge or the old NFL guy. Either way, you wake up in like a pool of whiskey. And maybe that's why I love this game, because I was like, oh, something I can relate to. Okay.
Just a Saturday morning at the Murphy residence.
That's right. Yeah.
Sounds like this could be the Hangover 3,
Right. I think this needs to be the Hangover 3. I think they just need to partner with Techland, because I'm just running around this island and I want to run into like Zach Galifianakis and a tiger.
Well, Kevin, what do you think?
Well, this is definitely like an RPG. I mean, I think this is based on like Deep Silver's RPG game engine that they may have loaned these guys to develop on, because, all in all, it's a bunch of quests. It's a bunch of monsters, basically, which are all zombies. And, you're picking up weapons, you're leveling up, you're getting enhancements, it's straightforward, it's just kind of how they do like Dragon Age and Mass Effect. It's the same game engine. They just mix it up. One's in space, one's knights and dragons and everything. This is the same thing here. Rather than a bunch of barbarians on an island, you're a bunch of tourists on an island fighting zombies. And I think it works. I think I have a lot of fun with it. I think that at times it's a little bit difficult, which I like. But I can understand, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this game, because I honestly expected this to be some old bullshit. Because I was reading about all the problems, because it launched with a ton of technical problems, which we'll get to. But I went into it not really knowing much about the game. I knew it was, okay, there are a bunch of zombies on an island and you're trying to survive. I didn't really realize how deep the gameplay would be, as far as like RPG and like taking weapons and upgrading them, keeping them, maintaining all of your weapons and getting the blueprints to make like bombs out of cans of aerosol deodorant, and stuff like that. I really didn't expect that. So I was very surprised that this had this open world feel, this kind of a sandbox game on this island. And I was just really surprised. And I think my expectations really had a lot to do with my enjoyment of this game, because I really liked it.
Well, for anybody who's wondering, the RPG system is actually kind of most reminiscent of Diablo, because it's every time you level up, you get a point that you can put into one of 3 trees that unlock different new skills or passive bonuses or things like that. And I thought that definitely, if this game hadn't have had some kind of character progression like that, it probably would have been a lot flatter than it actually was. Now, saying that, it is kind of RPG light, because it's not like you have stats that you upgrade. All that you're pretty much doing is putting points into these passive and active bonuses that you get to get new abilities to use against the zombie horde that you're up against.
Depending on who you chose to play as
in
the beginning of the game, those ones you listed off earlier. One of them is a blunt weapons expert, one of them is a thrown expert, one of them is a firearms expert, and then there's the bladed weapons expert. So they each have their own unique trees.
Except that, like, when you play the game, there's a cooperative multiplayer element where people can hop in and out of your game while you're playing, and everybody's playing the black guy with the blunt weapon instruments. I'm constantly just surrounded by like the black guy with the really stereotyped dialogue around me, constantly fighting, and then the voice that comes over the microphone is always some kid that wants to talk to me about something. I don't ever have my microphone hooked up. I don't know what it is. I just don't want to talk to people, but they're all like, just call my name's Dispatcher, like Dispatcher, and I'm just like wandering off, just killing zombies. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even know how I got into this co-op mode, and I can't shut it off. So, there's just people appearing and leaving my game constantly, and I just don't. I can't stop it. So.
Well, let me ask you.
That is, I understand that you don't want to join with people, because I'm the same way. I don't really like playing games with people I don't know most of the time, because usually they're just knuckle-dragging troglodyte assholes. I don't want to deal with that. But it is pretty cool because you can just press like left on the D-pad because it'll find someone who's like nearby and you can join up with them. So it's almost like you're just running into someone else who's trying to survive on the island.
Yeah, it's pretty seamless, right? There's no loading or you don't get moved off or anything. It just happens.
Now, the people that came into the game, were you able to see if they were kind of at the same appropriate level that you were? I mean, were you bringing like
that? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you weren't dragging in like level 50 badasses that just played the entire game for you and you just trailed around behind them like, all right, what happens next? Cool.
Yeah, like you're the little dog in the old cartoons that's jumping around the big dog. Like, what are we going to do now, Spike? Huh?
So the game is broken up into 4 acts. You basically have the resort, the city, the jungle, and then the final act, which takes place in a prison. And within each act, there's a certain number of chapters that all kind of tie into these main story quests. And as you have the ability to go out and finish side quests, but you only advance the story whenever you do one of the main story quests. Which at a certain point, when I was trying to get through this game in order for us to play this review, I had to stop doing the side quests because this game is surprisingly long. This game is way longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, how many hours did it take for you to finish it?
I did all the side quests in Chapter 1 and 3/4 of them in Chapter 2. Chapter 3 and 4, I just kind of said, screw it, I'm not going to do it anymore. When I finished the game, I had 22 hours. So you could probably sink 30 to 40 hours into this, no problem. And there's the New Game Plus that lets you start over with all your equipment and on all of the levels that you've gotten throughout the game. So, I mean, there's a fair amount of replay value here, especially with playing with other people. And the gameplay mechanic that I hate, and I can understand why it's here, but this is kind of where the game started to lose me a little bit, is the fact that all of the zombies in the game are within about 3 levels of your character's level.
That gets really annoying. It's that RPG trope. It's that as you get better weapons, all of your enemies get better as well. So why does it even matter? It's like sometimes I want to get my badass +20 sword of the Obsidian Abyss and march through all these little plebeian bastards and just start mowing shit down like it's a Frazetta painting. You know? I mean, I just want to just butcher some shit. But with most RPGs, it's like, well, I understand the game design dilemma. You got to keep it a challenge, but I don't know. I want to be able to go back and it's like, yeah, remember when you guys gave me a tough time? Well, guess what? I have this giant gun sword that is also it has a nuclear powered bullets within it, and it is Vorpal, and it launches rabid weasels at you as well. And so, yeah, I'm back to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum, et cetera, et cetera.
You spent a lot of time on that gun, basically, so and you want to use it.
Yeah, and you want to use it to good effect. You don't want to go up against the level 50 guy who sits there and shrugs it off, and you got to hit him a couple of times. I want to go back and show these fuckers who's boss. Like, well, yeah, remember me, motherfuckers?
It's
when
weird.
I had my stick.
Your +2 stick of thwacking. But no, it was kind of ended up being a bit of a bummer because by the time you get to the end of the game, or by the time I got to the end of the game and you're level 25 or 30 or whatever it was, any individual zombie, just any random old zombie walking down the street could really kill the shit out of you in no time flat. Like if you're turned the wrong way and they jump you from behind, you're dead. And in fact, it got so bad that I took one of the trees, there's a set of skills that actually decreases the amount of money that you lose when you die. Because when you die in the game, all that happens is you just lose a percentage of the amount of money that you had. And it got to the point where